the melee on this one.
And if you don't know, now you know.
This build wasn't on this evening's schedule, but I was dreaming of melees last night because it's been so fun with the SHD Exposed event. I thought I'd get you a build ASAP so that you could have as much fun as I was slapping fools and killing them with said slap. There's not too many different melee builds in this game, and we're gonna spend a couple of moments on how melees work with this event, so stay tuned for that. But let me get you through the build first. Looking at the Lady Death, now this provides exceptional amplified damage and movement speed, all super helpful for a melee build. It's got crits as you would expect. This is the Lady Death exotic. You can get this anywhere. It's exotic caches, farm countdown, etc. But look at this mod here, 500% melee damage. It's called the Kiss of Death. And yeah, that looks like it's gonna hurt, right? No doubt. I have damage to armor on mine. You can put damage to targets out of cover on yours. The other exotic I'm running is the Bloody Knuckles, the gloves. And these have crits on them, perfect. But it's got the talent called Over the Top. So damaging an enemy with a grenade or striking an enemy with a melee attack activates seeing red, which is gonna grant you 25% amp damage and 100% to melee damage. So even more melee, right? So now we're at 600%. And then this is gonna last 20 seconds and then it has a 60-second cooldown, but you're gonna be meleeing all the time and the melees can reset the cooldown. So while on cooldown, damaging an enemy with a melee attack or hitting an enemy with the effect of a grenade will complete the cooldown instantly. So since you're meleeing everybody anyways all the time, this is always gonna be active, as much as you want it to be at least. Okay, then for everything else, I'm running 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury, basically for survivability. We're going for the SMG damage, of course, 20% armor on kill, that's vital. Apex Predator, which is 20% amplified damage. So why is this important? Because amplified damage impacts all damage that you're putting out, including damage from your melee. So 20% amp to your melee too. So killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorients other enemies nearby within 5 meters, so that buys you time. And then you're gonna get more amplified damage. Stacking, pretty cool. And then I have crits and protection from elites to give you more survivability, because I wanna run around without a shield as much as possible. That keeps me fast and agile. So that's what the protection from elites is about. And since we're playing heroic open world here, there's just a ton of elites. So the chest piece is really nice. Basically, it's the same thing here. So everything's what you would expect. I have armor on my chest piece. I quickly crafted this one. It's got crit chance, protection from elites, but Endless Hunger, it turns those amplified stacks here. You know how you're getting to 5% for 10 seconds? It turns those to 30-second stacks, and you can stack those 5 times. So that means you're carrying around a bunch more amplified damage for longer. The holster real quick is crit damage, and the other one is crit damage as well. And then of course we already showed you the Bloody Knuckles, and the backpack is the Steelworks for another 10% armor on kill. So that's putting this at a total of 30% armor on kill so far. And we got armor, crits, more protection from elites, and then I elected for Bloodsucker because for SMG builds or any out of cover build, bonus armor is just really helpful. And because I'm already running an exotic, the Bloody Knuckles, I couldn't run the Memento. Otherwise I would be choosing the Memento here because you can amass better stats than what just Bloodsucker can provide. But this is working great. It's doing the job. And then I'm running Gunner for another 10% armor on kill. So we got 40% armor on kill plus all the bonus armor on kill that's coming off of Bloodsucker. So good survivability on this one. And then looking at the stats here, we're at 57% crit chance and 108% crit damage. Your gun's pretty strong. You got a lot of amp damage flying off of this build. You're over 125% amp damage with this build, including the gloves. So you really don't have to worry too much about crits. But if you want to, take off your protection from elites and add more. And if you don't want this armor and kill, you can also put a Cheska or a Grupo back here if you like, or even run Obliterate. But the time to kill with the weapon was fine. So I really wasn't feeling like I needed more damage. It's mostly balancing the damage with the time you're spending out of cover, because you are gonna be taking damage out of cover as you're bouncing around from A to B, and those guys are shooting you at distance, and you got a little SMG that's not able to shoot back at distance, especially while in motion. So I felt like the protection from elites and bonus armor and armor on kill were the things I needed to be successful doing that. Here's what you need to know about the melees. So when the game mode isn't active, it's pretty straightforward. Just melee as much as you can to eliminate cooldowns and have maximum overtime on your talent, Over the Top, or Seeing Red. Otherwise, when you're playing with SHD Exposed, if you want a one-hit kill with your melee, the enemy needs to have that SHD exposed symbol, that circle, over their head. And then to give maximum punch, you want to make sure your charge, that red meter, is full. And so if you're running around out of cover and playing out of cover and taking on big groups of enemies all the time, then that's going to be really easy. Just make sure you transfer your charge so that they all have their red thing. So if you forget to do that and you melee a guy, then that will be the transfer of charge, but it's likely not going to kill him because, again, he needs to be exposed and you need to have your exposure meter maxed. So it's that combo that allows you to one-tap everybody. But if you don't one-tap everybody, it's not a big deal. Just put a couple of shots in that guy. You're going to be really strong with all your amp damage. But it's really fun to slap these guys and even some elites. So don't expect to run up to an elite and be able to kill him with a single melee. Basically, on the stronger guys like elites and some veterans, the melee acts really as a finisher effect. And that's because the mag on the Lady Death is not big, right? It's a small mag. So it puts you in reload situations because you're not landing 100% of your shots all the time, of course. So instead of reloading, you can just slap him and kill him and then save that full mag for the next guy. That's basically what the melee is intended for with the Lady Death. And with this setup, it's really helpful to integrate that into your gameplay because you're also activating Seeing Red from the Bloody Knuckles, which is giving you even more amplified damage. Now, I'm not a super fan of melees overall in this game because in many cases you melee them and they just turn around and melee you right back, and their melees are quite potent, way more potent than yours, and so it can knock you on your butt. So stay on your toes, be fast, be agile, and this will be really fun to run. Okay, now that this one's out of the way, let me show you the second iteration. So in the choke control point, I was running something different. I was using the Hunter's Fury backpack instead. This is giving us the overwhelming force. I got protection from elites here and crit damage. And then this is basically increasing the radius of disorient from 5 to 10 meters. So it's not bonus armor, but it's another form of defense. And then instead of the holster Hunter's Fury here, I ran the claws out holster with armor, but you could also put a red core here if you wanted to, and that's giving you another 500% melee damage. We're not using the skill damage, of course, but it's got some really nice stats on this one. So it was just about the melee damage. That's the only reason why I was running it, but the reality was it wasn't making that big of a difference at this stage. I think we had everything that we needed to be successful. Thank you for hanging out with me today. My name is TuxedoBandido, and this was another episode of The Division 2. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss out on the fantastic experiences waiting for you in The Division 2. And if you like builds like this, check out the recommended build video I have here for you. If you have anything you want to see covered, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make everything possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be without you.
Follow me.
I get it.